Social media management is notorious for being high pressure, competitive, and changing literally every day, which is why it isn't surprising that most social media managers get burned out within the first 2 years. So how do you keep going? How do you stay up with the latest updates, protect your mental health, and build a successful social media management business that supports your lifestyle goals? Whether that's working from home with your kiddos or jet setting around the world, that's what this show is all about. Welcome to Social Media Manager Confidential. I'm Shantae Gorman, founder of a 6-figure social media management agency and mentor to social media managers. And I'm here to dish on the ins and outs of the social media management world without any of the gatekeeping that can come along with it. You'll learn, you'll laugh, and you'll leave each episode inspired. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of Social Media Manager Confidential. If this is your first episode, a special welcome and shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if this is not your first episode and you're coming back every single week, thank you so much for being here and letting me know what you love about the show. I get a lot of questions on social media and inside my community, so I wanted to do an episode for you where I answer them in detail. We have some questions that I hear quite a bit, while others are very specific, but I thought you might find helpful. So let's dive in. Starting off with the biggest question I get asked, how do I set up my packages? What should my pricing be? Do I charge hourly or monthly? I actually hear this one so often that I created a YouTube video specifically going through this with the system that I recommend using. It's simple, it's easy, and it makes sure you're profitable. We start by figuring out the minimum you need to be making every month, divide that by how many hours you're available for client work, and using that information to figure out your minimum hourly rate. You also use this to figure out how much time you're spending on each client, what that should cost, and also add in a buffer for self-employment tax. Typically, it's 15.3%, and business expenses. All of that is what you should be charging for your package. Again, I recommend watching the YouTube video for a step-by-step. It's linked in the show notes for you. Next question, what scheduling software do you use? So this depends on which platforms you need it for. If it's just for Facebook and Instagram, I like to just use Creator Studio because it's created by Meta and it's free to use. I've also found it to be pretty reliable, although I've heard from other social media managers that they have difficulty with it, so it seems like it's kind of hit or miss. For other platforms or scheduling reels, I've used Later, Buffer, Vista Social, Planoly, Tailwind, and Hey Orca. It really just depends on what features you want and which UI system you like best. Next question, what should I be posting about as a social media manager? The people who want to hire you to do their social media for them are not the same people who want to or enjoy DIYing their own social media. So assume that they're too busy to keep up with platform best practices or how to use the app to do what we usually feel is pretty basic or standard knowledge. Things like what results should they expect based on each platform, what their goals should be, what's realistic, what should they expect. Which elements of the platform are non-negotiables if they want to grow, and why should they be using them? How do you help your clients use them? How the platform works, which is especially helpful with confusing algorithms. How to grow, and let's keep this one simple. Think the 3 biggest things that they need to do, and then maybe add on how you can help them do those 3 biggest things. I actually have a new template in my template shop that provides you with plug-and-play content to post that will help you attract clients. So if you need help, that would definitely be worth looking into. I'll link it in the show notes for you. Next question, my clients are always increasing my workload and don't want to pay extra for it. What should I do? This is something that happens all the time. So if you're in this position, don't feel like you're alone because it happens. Just know that you won't be able to build a strong foundation of your business without having stronger boundaries. Your contract should include the scope of the work you're providing and mention that any additional work outside of this is an additional fee. If you don't have a contract, this is something that needs to be remedied. And I don't recommend Googling a contract. I recommend actually purchasing one, making that business investment so that you have one that is lawyer drafted and could actually hold up in court if you needed it to. I recommend going to coachesandcompany.com. I even have an affiliate code for you. Just use code Shantae and you get $50 off of the contract. Plus, I believe they also have payment plans now available, so they make it as accessible as possible for you. Go check them out. I highly recommend them, and those are the contracts that I used for my business. Hi there, this is Ad Shantae popping in to let you know about the Sugar Punch Template Shop. Inside the shop are done-for-you templates that I created specifically for social media managers and digital marketers so that you can seamlessly plug and play and have a professional business without losing any more sleep. We all know we need more of that. From a pricing calculator to an onboarding welcome packet to an all-in-one social media calendar, as in you can create, revise, and have clients approve it all through Canva. Love how simple it is. Plus a case study template with 100 proven copy ideas to impress your clients, and a social media marketing proposal template. I've got you covered. Shop the affordable templates or get the discounted bundle, you do you, at my website. I'll link it in the show notes for you. Now, back to today's episode. So, if you've already been performing this work without pay, it's time to have a chat with your client and let them know that moving forward, they're going to have to pay for the additional services. And this is a sign that a personal growth and mindset shift needs to be made on your end. It's certainly not easy. I'm finding that most small businesses don't have a big budget and just want free help. What industries are actually able to afford social media managers? So this is a question I get all the time, and I want to give you a running list of what I think works best. And I've mentioned this in a previous episode, but the easiest niches for new social media managers to work with as clients are realtors in large cities like LA, New York, Chicago, Denver, interior design firms, or like luxury services where they've served higher income type of clients. Budgets and marketing budgets are just going to naturally be larger, and they'll be able to outsource to a social media manager. Coaches that are already established, like business coaches, mindset, spiritual, education, but they need to be a couple years in and just too busy to post to social, not just now trying to find clients. Established e-commerce or product-based businesses, like a mid-sized company where they've gotten too busy to do their own social, product is already selling, they're not starting from scratch. You could even white label for more experienced social media managers who are growing their team. You're creating their content for them, but they are the one talking to the client. It's their client. They're doing the go-between and all of that stuff. You can also look at photography studios. So these are photographers who have done so well, have enough of clientele that they are able to rent a studio space. And so their income and budget is going to be higher than a photographer who hasn't reached that point yet. Successful Airbnbs are also helpful, especially if they're in a really popular location. Usually they have great photos and images already and videos, so that makes it a little bit easier for you. So these are typically businesses that have outsourced at least once, whether that's for branding, hiring an attorney, certifications, anything like that, and they will not have that mindset block that has them needing to DIY everything. This also means they'll have larger budgets because they'll have more income, and they're hiring you because they already understand how important a social media presence is, but they don't have the time to do it themselves. And most of them hate doing it themselves, if I'm being honest. Next question. I'm getting interest from clients who I don't think I can serve well because I don't know their industry, and I want to make sure the clients I am focused on are getting my best work. I was thinking of bringing another social media manager on to help with the workload. What advice do you have for me? So first off, congrats on growing. But before you start hiring a team, I would encourage you to look into setting up a referral program, maybe to someone who specializes in those industries you don't think you can serve well, and they can do the same for you. And then you can do like a referral trade-off system, and then really sit down and think about who it is that you want to serve. While it's great to have a lot of interested potential clients, it's also totally okay to not take all of them on. In fact, your business will be better off if you're able to get choosy about which clients you take on. Quality of work is important, and it sounds like that's your priority too. It can be difficult to turn down interested clients. That income boost is tempting, but sometimes it's in our business's better interest to turn them down. Now, if it's just a topic of I'm unfamiliar, but I'm excited, I want to work with them, if it's something that you can learn about, you can watch YouTube videos on, you can research, they have a blog, they're willing to communicate with you and let you know what types of things you need to know, then go for it. If you feel like you are up for the challenge, then you go right ahead. Now, if you do want to hire a team, the first thing you need to do is get your organization and systems in place. Write everything down step by step so that your team can refer to them as they work. You'll also probably need to take a look at your packages to figure out what you can afford to pay someone. Most people need to bump their rates up to be able to remain profitable and have a team. I cover all of the above and more inside my mentorship program, Social Media Manager Success Incubator. So if you're interested in that and when it's enrolling, you can find the details in the show notes or on my website. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you have questions for me, you can DM me on Instagram or post in the private Sugar Punch community on my website. The link is in the show notes. If you have any friends who are struggling with knowing how to build their social media management business, share the link to this episode with them and help them out. And if you're not already following the podcast, make sure you hit the follow button or the plus button in Apple Podcasts so you can get brand new episodes delivered straight to your podcast app every Friday. Thank you so much for listening. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Learn more about my digital template shop, online courses, and mentorship program by going to my website at sugarpunchmarketing.com. And while you're there, make sure you join my safe, supportive community created exclusively for social media managers. It's 100% free to join and packed with really amazing resources, trainings, and people. See you next time.